Hey, welcome back. We're going to do a video where we bring together lots of stuff I've done previously with slanted sections, fading in and out sections, overlapping things, just to create a kind of very different landing page, okay, for a homepage of a website. So we have a Elementor page, okay. We're just going to stick in a section. Like so, pretty simple so far, okay? And into this section, I'm going to stick a image. And I'm going to pick one of these images that I've got here. And I've gone and looked for some images where I was on Canva looking for samurai type images. And I'm going to go for this image over here. I can just move myself out the way a little bit there. Insert that image. Now, obviously, you can't see it fully, but this is basic Elementor here. We're going to go to Layout. I'm going to make this a box. No, I'm going to leave it as a boxed, in fact. And I'm going to make it a 1200 in terms of boxed width. I'm going to say no gap, and the height is going to be a minimum height, VH100. Remember, VH100 means it fits to full screen. Fit to screen over here does not always fit to screen. I have found that the hard way, and it's annoying when it doesn't fit to screen. So always go for VH100. So we have a full screen image here. I'm just going to make this be a center view. It's going to be a scroll, because there won't actually be much scrolling going on here, okay? You will see what I mean when we have an overlap effect kicking in. We're going to have no repeat, and this is going to be a cover image. So we have a nice, lovely image. In terms of the layout, I'm also going to say the column position is at the top. We can obviously change that by adding in some padding. So I'm going to say, give me about 150. Did I want to go with 150? Yes, I did. I want to go with 150. Yeah, that's fine. And what I'm going to, in fact, no, I won't do 150. Change that. Put it back to 0. Ugh, don't listen to me all the time. We're just going to have one column per section. And it will become clear what I'm doing in a moment. You can do 2 columns if you want. In fact, what we'll do is we'll do 2 columns, okay? So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to create add new column. Okay, right. In the first column, we're just going to stick in a header. And this header, we're just going to call it Samurai, okay? And we're going to put it into a white font. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. You will notice in a lot of my videos, I don't spend a lot of time going over styles and things like that. Mainly because I'm just trying to get across to you how you can do things. I can't even spell Orbitron. Orbitron. I just want to show you how we can do things, okay? And then you can go away and play with it yourself. And we'll just do an REM of about 3, something like that. I'm then just going to go over to this column. And I'm going to get the column to start about 150 from the top there. So when I did padding on the section or whatever, it made it move the image a bit, which I didn't really want. So I've just done it on the column over there. Underneath that, I'm just going to add in a bit of text. I'm just going to make it a white font. Again, I'm really not focusing too much on the presentation over here. Let's just make it, no, we'll go with 1.5. You might have some text. You might even have a button. You could have whatever you want, okay? I'm now just going to duplicate that text. And I'm going to stick some text over into this column. And I'm then just going to go over to the margin. And I will make this be about 200. And I'm just going to increase it until it's roughly in line. Something like that, okay? You know, I'll let you play around with it, all right? Again, I'm trying not to focus too much on the presentation, okay? Into this column over here, even though I'm not doing presentation, I am going to do a little bit. You know, I can't just do nothing. Put 50 in there. And over here, I'm going to do a 50 on the left, okay? So it just, you know, there's a bit of spacing. And you'll, look, if I do like a preview, you get the idea, okay? Nothing fantastical going on here at the moment, right? I'm pretty sure you agree with me. You're going to go, well, what kind of section overlap slanted is this? This is witchcraft. This is not real. Well, it is real because I'm doing it to you right now. Look it up. Now what I'm going to do is add in a fixed menu that is always going to be visible at the top, even after you have overlapping sections. Stay with me on this. This is all going to make sense very, very soon. I'm going to go over here and add in another section, okay? It's going to be full width, and there will be no gap. And all I'm going to drop into here is the nav menu. You would probably add a nav menu, a logo, social sharing icons, whatever you want. I'm just trying to show you how we can get this to work. And I'm just going to put this as a white font as well. Now, at the moment, you can't see it because it's right at the top and it's got no background color. I'm going to now click that where the header is, go to advanced, go to motion effects, and I'm going to say sticky at the top. It will always be at the top, okay? I'm then going to go to advanced and I'm going to give this a Z index of 99. This is going to be right at the top. No matter how many sections I add, it will always be at the forefront. I'm then going to go to the section below and I'm pretty sure it's minus 65. No, I've probably gone over a bit too much. So I'm just going to... There we go. That should... And there is 1 pixel. I can tell you now, it's 1 more pixel I need to do. No, I think that was right, in fact. No, I was right. So yeah, 48. There we go. So what you can now see is we have a menu at the top. Don't worry about the colors and things like that. That's not what we're focusing on here, okay? So we now have a menu at the top. And as you can see, as I move this section up and down, it is always going to be visible. Now, let's go to section number 2. So section 2 is this image that we have here and the headers and the text. I'm also going to give this a Z index of 1. And I am also going to say that this is sticky at the top as well. So this is always going to be sticky at the top. You will understand what I'm doing in a moment, okay? And you're probably going to go, waste of my time. No, it won't. I promise you, you're going to love this, okay? So this now is kind of stuck at the top. And when I now scroll, nothing happens, right? It is now just sat there because it's fitting to screen. You've got a menu at the top and that's it. Let us now duplicate that section. So we're going to duplicate it. So now we have section 2. In fact, let's just change this one to be a header section. So it makes a little bit more sense. Then we have section 1 and we have section 2. If I scroll down to section 2, it just kind of scrolls over it because it's overlapping at the moment, which is exactly what we want. I want to make clear. So I'm going to make this one number 2. So section 1 is a 1. The header is 99. Section 1 is a Z index 1. Section 2 is a Z index of 2. Okay, I hope that is making sense. I'm also going to just change the margin to be 0 because it doesn't need to overlap like how it was before. Okay, so it's fine to go all the way to the top. I'm then going to make sure that the motion effect is still at the top. By the way, though, I would probably recommend you do not do this for the mobile. So I would say that when, maybe even on the tablet, don't activate this because it's not going to look great with the amount of content you look. Desktop, I always feel, is a little bit more forgiving with motion effects and scrolling effects. When you get to the mobile, you could add in a horizontal maybe or a little bit of a vertical scrolling effect, but don't overdo it because mobile's meant to be very quick and people just want to get to their answers. Overload the animation, it hurts the eyes. Don't do that. So now we've got section 2 here. I'm just going to change this text over here and I'm going to call it section 2, okay? I'm not going to do too much changes here. I'm now going to go over to the image for section 2 and I'm going to change it. And I'm going to go for this image over here. It's just a slightly different image that we have there. It's the same person in effect, but they would just have a slightly different image. Yeah. Remember, you can do background overlays. You can do all of these things. You can do what you want. You can put a gradient on as well. And again, we got text. Remember, you can put what you want into it. Buttons, other stuff, you go for it. But try to be mindful of how much estate you're using per section. I have intentionally made sure that I am not going beyond the first 50% of that page. And it will become clear in a moment, okay? The same with section 2. I am above 50%. Right. Now, we're going to go to this page here, bennettfreely.com. The link will be in the description, where they allow us to get some clip paths, CSS ones. And you're probably wondering, well, what is this all about? Look, I picked trapezium or trapezoid. I'm going to go like this, and I'm now going to drag this up until I get to about 55, I would say. So that is roughly 50, that is 55%, that's 45, okay? And it gives me this code down here. Do you see the code? You can't miss it, okay? Let's just copy that code. Oops, sorry. Copy the code like that. Let's go back over to our section 2. Make sure you're on section 2. Go to advanced, go to custom CSS, and I am going to put dot section 2, okay, curly bracket, close curly bracket, obviously, and I'm going to paste that code. So this is section 2, but nothing has happened because we haven't named it as section 2. So we go to advanced, and I'm now going to type into here, section 2. Can you see there, instantly, we have a slanted effect going on here. Can you see that? Do your eyes deceive you? There is a slanted effect there. Trust me, it will become clearer when we do the preview and I hide my wonderful features out of the way. You will see this and you're going to go, wow, this is amazing, or not. We're not done yet with this section, okay? We're going to go back to it. We go back to motion effects, and I'm now going to go to scroll effect. And I am going to go for something else we've done in a previous video as well, transparency. And I am going to say that when we are roughly down here, okay, I don't mind if it starts to become visible as you scroll up. But when you get to about here, I now want it to be fully visible. So I'm going to drag this top to be like that. So what happens now is, as you're scrolling up, it starts to become visible. In fact, I'm going to shrink it a bit, like that. And when you scroll up, it is now fully visible, but you have a slanted effect at the bottom. Now here's where that 50% or 55 that I eventually did it at really helps. Because look, this section is covering the text before on section 1. So if I had made the text really big on section 1, I'd need to be mindful that I could have had more text over here. Because can you see here, this bit covers it. But if I had too much text here, you would have seen it creeping out underneath here. So be mindful of what you're doing. So that is section 2. Let's go further, right? Let's go to navigator. Let's now duplicate that one. Let's go to advanced. I'm now going to say the Z index is 3. I'm going to call this section 3. I'm going to go to custom CSS and put section 3. But I'm now going to go back to my clip path. I'm going to increase this to, I'm going to pop this one down. And I'm going to pop this one up to be 55 as well. Like that. Is that 55? Yes, it is. Just check sorry, I've got a bit of a slant there. Sorry, I didn't, there you go. That's now actually correct. That's the code. So now I've flipped it the other way. I'm now going to dump that code in instead. So now I'll have an opposite effect. In fact, I just want to double check in this one here. Did I have any 99s? Yeah, there you go. I've got 1 there. So 0 there. 100, 100, 100. Yeah, that's fine. So section 3 now, it flips the other way. Let's go to the style. Let's now pick a different image because now it is slanted that way. So in fact, I'm going to go for a picture of him kind of just standing like that. He's not doing much. He's just standing there, minding his own business kind of thing. Just make sure that we got section 3, we got the right CSS in. And now what I'm going to do is go down and I'm now going to do the scrolling effect. Just because you duplicated from section 2, don't assume that the same scrolling effect will apply. You've got to actually modify it. So we go over here and I'm now going to just flip these all over and I'm now just going to change it so it kicks in like that. And when we get to about here, this is now where I want it to now start to become fully basically locked into view. So you'll now see is we have this effect where, let me just make that a bit more transparent in fact. Something like that. So what will now happen is you'll have an image, it locks into view section 2. And then you have the next one, which is transparency-ish, roughly-ish, isn't it? Something like that. There we go. Let me just make it like that. And then it becomes visible and it locks into view. And because, again, we have been careful with how much content I've got, everything for section 3, which we have here, is now going to cover everything that was in section 2. So if I just show you what you get, and this is, and by the way, did you notice that every step of the way here, so I've got a window open here, this navigation menu has always stayed at the top of the page, overlapping everything, because we did Z index 99. So if I now just preview this, and I'm going to minimize myself like that, bye, just hit update. I am still here. I am not a voice in your head. Okay, let's just preview that. Just go all the way back to the top. We have an image. Okay, we got our menu at the top, which will take you wherever you want to do, you know, menu sections or however you want to do it, or to different pages. If we then start to scroll down, look, this other section appears. I probably need to mess around now a little bit with what point does it become solidly transparent, okay? But then we have this pop up with different wording. And then, actually, I think I need to do a bit more. Hold on. Yeah, there you go. Look, so it pops in. And then we have the next section coming. And this is now slanting in the completely opposite direction, right? And if this isn't fully clear, and maybe in some way it isn't, let me just go back to section 1. Let's go for a totally vibrant kind of image, okay? So let's go for, again, one of my favorite images that I have. Let's go for this one here. And we'll do center, top center. There we go. Let's go to section 2. Let's do an image of, let's go for this person over here, which I can't even see at the moment. There you go. And then let's go to section 3. And let's do a different image there, just so the vibrancy of the images come out. I hope that's making sense what I'm saying there. If not, I'm really, really sorry, but I hope it's making sense. I'm sure it is. Like, surely it is, right? So look, now we have, if I just do preview again, I am still here, by the way. I've just hidden myself. We have image 1, and you got your wording and whatever, right? Look at the slanted effect. It's covering the face. Now you can see I have to mess around with what point it stops and starts. So just pay attention and mess around with your transparency and all of that. Then we have another image. And look, I'm getting this total like unique overlap effect going on here. I didn't have to do that effect. I could have gone over here and picked a totally different pattern. I could have gone with something like this. Probably not that one, but I could have gone with... no, that's even a rubbish one as well. Let me go. Here you go. Decadon. You know, and if I want to create a completely unique pattern or whatever, I could have done that. And each time it overlaps, it's literally cutting and slicing away bits of the section. I mean, this is seriously wonderful stuff in what it does. This takes shape dividers don't always like, it gives you a block color, but it doesn't allow you to like have transparency with the image behind. This is a very like, I mean, look, the menu is at the top. It's always at the top, like no matter how, whatever you scroll, but you're getting this completely unique kind of way of working, right? And I would say, yeah, I've got to mess around with the blurring effect a bit more, but I just think that this is a seriously cool way of doing like fade in sections, overlapping, sliced up sections, and just having, well, getting things to sit where you want to sit. I mean, you could if you want. Right? If you think about it, you could, if you want, put something in here. You could have tons of text. And then this comes over, sorry, this section comes over and it hides loads of the text. But now you've got a bit more over here. And then you get to this section and this hides that. And you could go on and on and on. When you get to the mobile, I would probably say you don't really want to be doing too many slicing effects. Slicing effects is okay, but you don't want to do too much transparency effect because it's going to start to look a bit odd. And I'll just show you now, we're not doing responsive mode here, but look, if we did have responsive mode, okay, there's section 1. Let's say you've messed around with the sizing of your text and your padding and all of that. You got section 2. It fades in, but can you see here, it's not, oh, sorry, that's not sticking to the top, is it? Duh, of course it's not sticking to the top because I took it off. Let me just put it back in for section 2. It's always good to remember. No, it is there. It is there. Sticky. No, sorry. Sticky to the top. There you go. Sticky to the top. There we go. Let's put it as the mobile. Let me just do it to section 3 as well. Don't you love it when I do things on the fly? I just make it up as I go along. You know, literally, I just thought, what should we do a video about today? Why don't we do overlapping, cutaway, sliced up sections? Because I'm just crazy like that. Right, so let's just make this 378. That's my default width whenever I'm testing iPhones and stuff. So we have section 1, section 2. It kind of works, right? Then we have section 3. It still kind of works in a way. Remember though, whenever you have an image that you've put in for your desktop, when you go to mobile, it's grayed out. That gives you the power to click over here and go, all right, you know what? We're going to have a different sized image. In fact, let's go for this image here. That's way too big. But what you would do is you would go for a more of a scaled up image, scale it to be about 500 pixels in width, 700 pixels in height, what you do is you scale it to be 700 pixels in height, then crop it. So you might have a copy of an image, but it means that you will now have an image which fits perfectly for the mobile. But look, I hope you have found this interesting in what we've done here, in just kind of playing and messing around and creating these different effects. It's just, I think it's another useful way of just doing something differently. All I've used is the clip path code down here. That was it. Simple as that to do. Look, I hope you enjoy that, have fun, play around, experiment. I hope you subscribe, share, like, and follow. And I'll see you soon. Bye.